Hello there, and welcome back to another Thunderous Productions video. I'm the madman behind the mic, Jag Thunder, and this is Minecraft. And welcome back, guys, to episode 5 of my Build It Better series. This episode is going to pick up right where 4 left off. We're going to finish up on tunnels, guys. So anyways, we're going to finish up the lesson that we learned on tunnels by returning to the one that I planned to build in episode 4. Most of you probably saw the actual construction in episode 4.5, the time-lapse. Anyways, I did this on my laptop at work over the course of about 2 hours. I reconstructed the area to better fit the overall idea and design I was actually going for. Decided to change the plan about 3 or 4 times until I landed on this one that you're looking at right now. The next thing Basically, I want you guys to get out of this part of the series is things will constantly change around your world as new buildings go up and path shifts to accommodate the changes. You will not always be completely satisfied with the first attempt, and it may not look exactly how you imagined it would. And that's fine. You can see, even with me, the first run at an area or a building or whatever the fuck it is, it's not always the final stamp or the closed door and time to move on. Alright, so basically, guys, what's going to make you better builders is the vision to see a change and make the change when your skills have improved or as the world around you asks for or demands for an adjustment. Everything I cover in this series, it'll come up again at some point, and as things need changed or adjusted. So when it does, I'm going to bring it back up for discussion so we can learn how I take care of these concerns or the design mistakes that I too still make along the way. By doing that, it'll help you identify possible corrections that, may need some loving in your worlds. The tunnels, I want to talk about those just for a second. They're a transition, guys, from one area to a new area. You can have 2 completely different worlds on opposite sides of a mountain. That's the cool part about tunnels. It's like a magical transitioning key that allows this to happen. This is much more difficult to achieve in a flatlands area or like a desert excuse me, or something like that. With a mountain, you can hide a lot of things. During the construction of this, I also noticed I have a scaling problem with my new A-frame houses, and no, I don't need cream for that, guys. So that's basically what the next lesson is going to cover. We're going to go ahead and move on into scaling, scales, or, proportion. Basically, it's the meat that holds the sandwich together. If it wasn't for the meat, it would just be bread. What the fuck is that supposed to mean, Jag? Hang on, I'm going to tell you. You can't have your builds outweighing each other. In other words, you want your eyes to flow across the world and continue looking for those extra details. If you have a building or a structure that is the wrong scale, your eyes will stop and then they'll focus on that particular build because it doesn't fit. Not because of the design, is because it doesn't fit. It's the wrong size, it's too big or it's too small. Anyways, I have a scale problem that I was talking about with the A-frame houses. The main footprint is about 35 by 35 square, and then they're about 20 high. The original builds that we started in episode 1, the average is like 15 by 20 footprint by 12 or so, somewhere around there. So the problem is this is half the size of the A-frame houses. So that needs to be adjusted, or I may just leave it the way it is. So now you're asking me, well, how the fuck does this happen? Well, for one, they weren't built in this world. I built them for my tutorials on my tutorial pad where there's nothing to use as a reference to size on my laptop, and like I said, on a completely different world. If I had built them right here where they're sitting now, I would have easily caught the problem right away and been able to adjust the builds. But again, if this was a flatland area, I'd be pretty much fucked raw. Another advantage to the mountain biome, like I said, is the ability to hide a fuck up, like hiding a used rubber. I have no idea what the fuck that even means, but so anyways, is what I mean is because, I can tuck the A-frames behind the big fat ladies. The small ladies don't look so big. Also the small fat ladies are away from the healthy looking workout ladies, so they're, difficult to compare them side by side. Again, I have no idea why I just referenced my houses to fat ladies. So, anyways, hopefully somewhere in the fat mess you understood exactly what I'm saying. You can disguise a scale problem by making something else look bigger, or vice versa. Or I can go ahead and take the smaller house, which is the closest house that will, you'll notice a difference because it's so much smaller. I'll take that closest house and I'll go ahead and make it a little bit bigger, so that, slightly adjusting the size of of that house will create like a growing sensation as you start off small and go big. Jesus Christ. I'm losing control of this one, guys. We're just going to go ahead and move right on. All right. I'm under control now. Now that you understand how scale and proportion work, we're going to need this for the next couple of episodes. We're going to be working in an area where there will be basically no room for fuck-ups like this. We're going to put a marina and a dock area right here on this island. So this is, being in the open area, like it is, one of the most important things to keep in mind is scale. I'm planning on starting with this bridge. It's got to blend from this country area over here into the busier marina over here. So the next couple of episodes, we're going to focus mainly on this area and what problems that can arise or different ways to apply what I'm doing here to what you're doing there, basically. This area will help us prepare for like a transition in the modern town. Remember, I was telling you that bridge is going to lead to the bigger city. This is going to kind of help us prepare for that. So for now, we're just going to settle on in here for, in the older town, and we're going to hone our skills and we're going to build it better. All right, guys, I am back. I have a little nap underneath me now. I feel a little bit better. I don't know what in the fuck I was talking about over here with the mountains. I worked 12 hours last night, and I want to get this up. I'm excited to show the tunnels off that I just showed in the first part of this, and just keep this thing moving. You guys are really interested in this. This has become pretty much my favorite series right now, and I'm having a really good time with it. So I was just I guess I was just really excited this morning. Something about rubbers and fat ladies. But the point that I'm going to try to make, and we're going to go over a little bit more in detail about the fat ladies. Your proportion size, it does make a big difference. If you start off with a like 10 by 15 or 20 by houses, everything in the area should remain somewhere around a 10 to 20 block scaling building sizes to that area. So if all these houses down through here are going to be 20 bys, make them 15 to maybe 25 to 30 at the biggest. If you go any bigger than that, then you're going to have one big building and small buildings and big buildings, which you can still vary your sizes. I'm not saying not to vary the sizes. Just don't make drastic changes from one size to the next in a closed-in area like this right here. Unless you're going to have one central build and then everything else is going to revolve around it. If this lighthouse over here, if that was in the middle, or if that was like right here, that would be, like your central point. You want your eye to find that, but you want your eyes to actually leave that and go to the other buildings too. If it's so damn big and it's like 90 blocks high, and it's got like a 60 block base, you're just going to sit there and stare at it and you're going to be like, this is just fucking ridiculous. And you're not even going to look at anything else, just because that is pretty much just flabbergasted the ball shit out of you. So anyways, by looking at the area with what I have to work with, I've determined out in here I'm going to put like a backsplash or a water break, and I'm going to build that out around this way here. And I'm probably going to have to fill in a lot of this island. As you can see, this is probably about 1 or 2 blocks deep, maybe 3 at the most. So I may have to take a little bit of MC edit and speed this up a little bit. So if I did this legit, guys, it'd be like 3 weeks before each episode come through the series. And all these builds are legit. The only thing that I have done, even as you saw in the time lapse, when I redid that mountain, that was all by hand. MC edit, I can't do that with MC edit. It's too square, and I'd rather fill it in by hand and make it look better. And that's another tip or something to add into the series is details. The smallest little thing, trees, reshaping a whole mountain or side of a mountain to make it fit what you're trying to do. By doing that, that's going to make you a better builder also. And that's what we're going to do here too, is I'm going to outline what I want by hand. And then I'll probably take MC Edit and fill in the first layer, and then I'm still going to sculpt the rest by hand because I need some more real estate here. This middle part, I want this to cut in, but not quite as much. And I want the docks to wrap probably all the way around it and make it look like a big dock city type thing. And obviously over here, this is a nice big area. Maybe that would be like the central, some sort of a central building here. So what I'm doing, I'm talking out loud and I'm rambling like a motherfucker. And you guys would think, well, Jesus Christ, Jag, I thought you just got sleep. And I have. It's just teaching you guys what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking before I do it. Is trying to get you guys to do the same thing, is to look at your overall area before you even start to build. If I just jump down here and I start building, a 50 by 60 house and it's hanging over the water and I'm like, oh, my fucking docks look like shit. And then you put a big ship right in here. Realistically, how in the hell did the ship even get there if you're going to put a bridge here? So all the bigger ships are going to have to be out here somewhere. And then all the smaller boats can go in here, the ones that can pass underneath the bridge. And I think I'm going to cut this out too. That way we can have a transition from the ocean and we can come into this river and we can cut into this little marina here, or we can go upstream up to the modern town. So that's what I'm saying anyways, is just, take your time, plan out all your builds. They're not going to go right the first time. Hell, mine don't. I tore that mountain apart probably 3, 4, 5 times before I got that design, and I'm really happy with it right now. It looks really beast. I know I need some more houses along the mountains here because this is going to look offset if I put a shitload of buildings over here and I've only got 2 or 3 over on this side. So I've left myself enough room where right about in here I'm probably going to start building some docks too, and this is going to transition across the bridge into this side and maybe put some smaller, tall, thin apartment type houses here. I'm not really sure yet. And there's a nice area right here for a pretty good sized house. Of course up there, but I'm not going to head back up there right now. Cross through here and then connect from the pass. I can take up through the mountains and again, create some more interesting things to look at. And then the little lady down here, of course, she's going to have to get a little bit bigger, and there's enough room behind it and over here that I can kind of spread that out. So it kind of goes, is what I was saying, is it starts small and it gradually gets bigger as you work into the background of the bigger A-frame houses. And you'll see these in the tutorials that I'm making. This one's coming up probably tomorrow, which is today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. And then this one here, this is the new design, which you'll get a look at real quick when I display this tutorial. When you go inside these houses, the scaling of them, I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but I'm trying to cover everything that I can, everything I can think of as far as scale and proportion goes. As you can see, when you're right down here, yeah, it looks pretty big, but when you get inside, by the time I start cutting these rooms up, and I've got a finished one of this is, my secondary world here. I haven't actually dropped the other one in here yet. By the time I start cutting this up, these rooms get small really fast, and it's because the size of our block, remember, is about 3 foot. And, if you look at these houses, they're like 60 foot tall. So we have to make, some sort of adjustments for that. So that's why I was saying, try to keep, a certain area to a certain size, 10 to 20s, 30 to 50s, 70 to 90s or something like that. I'm just throwing some rough numbers out there. Some of that stuff, it takes time. I've been building this stuff for over a year. And for the most part, I can just, without even planning, I threw all these houses together. And even by doing that, they still fit into this world pretty good. I'm real happy with the designs. And like as far as the valley here of the A-frames, they all fit very nicely. And I'll finish the path up here and I'll run that together. If I put another house in here, it's going to throw off the balance of this area. So, that's another thing too, is balancing out your areas and not trying to put too much in one area if it's not really designed for it. Like I said, this is a heavily wooded area, dropped down into a valley with 2 big houses and one on the hill. It would look really fucked up if I tried to put another one or a smaller one in between. And that again would be like putting this one right in the middle, and you'd be like, something doesn't look right as far as the scale goes. Alright, so that's going to pretty much get us started on proportion and scaling for episode 5. I've gone over the tunnels pretty good. I don't really think I need to go back through them again because Probably in a couple more episodes down the road, we'll be back up here connecting them on the backside of that mountain, and we'll go through them and work on those some more. All right, guys, that's it for episode 5. Thanks for watching. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and if it looks like shit, tear it down, blow it up, or just build it better. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Later.